Rick DiPietro will get the call for the New York Islanders tonight. DiPietro makes his 34th appearance of the year. The Islanders have 19 wins. He has 14 of them. 14, 13, and 2 his record. Goals against 3.5. Save percentage of 89. He stands in the goal to our left here to start the game for Long Island. Adam Monroe gets the call again for Trent Yawney's team, his 4th appearance of the year. 2 wins and an overtime loss on his record. A very fine 1.93. Goals against average, save percentage of 94. He stands in the goal to our right to start the game for Chicago. The officials tonight, the referees are Justin St. Pierre and veteran Rob Schick. The linesmen Vaughn Rohde and Greg Dvorsky. And here we go as the draw is controlled by the Hawks. Jason Cullimore. Bounce one down into the Islander zone. Sopel going back for the visitors. Cleared it up the right wing boards. It's picked up now by York. Fires a long one that Monroe steers aside. Then it bounced to Chatan. Right in the slot. Shoots. Good block by Cullimore. Rebound came through to the near side, and Calder able to work his way back to center. Now to the line. Calder put a pass that bounced away from Verbata. And back of the goal, DiPietro had thoughts of playing it. Calder knocked it away. But then the Islanders able to get it back, and it's cleared down into the Chicago zone. Chatan in the near corner. Tried to center. That's picked off. Verbata bounced it up the boards. And it winds up at center. Picked up now by the Islanders, Gervais. Bruno Gervais. There's it to center. Asham tipped it in. Duncan Keith back. Hammers it around the boards. Picked up by Bell on the left side. Feeding LaPointe. Bouncing it into the Islander end. Chased it himself. Put it into the near corner, and Bell. Mark Bell left it there. Yakubov. Squeezed to the boards by Asham, who took it away and cleared to center. Now they wrestle for it right in front of the Hawk bench, and it eventually bounces out of play.
New York Islanders find themselves at this point 9 points out of a playoff spot. New Jersey Devils, with that victory over the Blackhawks in the shootout last game, hopped over the Montreal Canadiens into the last spot in the Eastern Conference, 8th overall. So the Islanders 4 games under 500, making some major changes here, hoping that it'll spur something down the stretch and they can leapfrog over 4 other teams to get into that final playoff spot.
They got a lot of leaping to do.
They do.
9 points out of a spot for the Islanders. Hawks are going to get a power play here as right off a draw, Hawk player was taken down. But now the Islanders are going to get control, so the whistle sounds.
Jim Dowd was coming off the bench for Monroe, and he jumped over the boards and ran straight into the linesman and knocked him down. Blindsiding.
Do you get credit for a hit?
I think you do. Why not? All the stats that they're taking now in the games: block shots, hits, face-offs, passes.
Oleg Kavasha gets the tripping penalty. Hawks have the game's first power play. Now the draw is cleared back into Chicago ice.
New York penalty number 12, Kavasha. 2 minutes for tripping at 1:59.
Hawk power play 3 of the last 14 over 4 games. And now the Hawks move in, but offside. The Islander penalty killing 23rd in the league. Now they've been hit for 4 goals against their last 2 games. 4 out of 16 have been converted against the Islanders. The Blackhawk power play 29th in the NHL. 13% conversion. Hawks have 33 power play goals in 45 games. Here's Spacek from his own end. He and Bell are the point men, with Verbata, Calder, and LaPointe in front. Spacek carried it over the line to LaPointe, to the deep slot for Bell. His long shot is blocked. Bouncing loose in behind the Islander goal. Verbata picked it up out to the near point, and Bell sends it in deep. Now LaPointe picked it up on the far side of the deep slot for Bell. Near dot to Verbata, one-timer. Good save by DiPietro. The Hawks moved that puck with 2 very good passes. And Bell found Verbata, who fired a one-timer.
Well, that threat on the near side, the one-timer by Verbata, has been set up on a consistent basis the last several games. Mark Bell, a one-timer on the far side. Spacek, usually the top of the umbrella, setting those passes across, but Verbata, who has 4 goals in his last 4 games, can really fire that one-timer high on the power play.
Islanders win a draw and clear. 45 seconds left on the Chicago power play. Now Spacek with plenty of room to center. Feeds Arneson to the line. Then Hilbert picked it up on the far side. Rolled it back to the line. Babchuk. Rink wide to Spacek. Here it comes. And a blocker save by DiPietro. Did not know where it had gone, but the Islanders pick it up, and York cleared it out of there.
Arneson also didn't know where that rebound was. It was right behind him, and DiPietro way out of the net to make that save. If Arneson could have found that rebound, he would have had a wide open net.
Now the Hawks' Babchuk will fire it in. Back of the goal goes Arneson. Sopel took it away to the Islanders' Bates. He easily cleared it the length. This Hawk power play nullified, and both teams now are at full strength. Gervais had it knocked away by Holmquist. Back into the Islander end. Now they dump it out to center. Picked up by Duncan Keith. To the right wing boards, Barnaby tapped it in. Comes to the near side. Hit the shoulder of Holmquist. Bounced back around the boards. Blake. There was a grab by Vandermeer, preventing him from clearing it. But now Asham rolled it to center. Izzy Yashin gets over the line. Alexei Yashin, the Islander captain. Wow, no wonder they're not going anywhere. In behind the goal is Blake. Walked out in front, turns, shoots. Got a save by Monroe. Rebound into the near corner. Alexei Yashin is checked. Yashin jammed it to Blake along the boards. He tried to center, but good coverage by Keith. Knocked Aaron Asham off the puck. Hawks clear it back into the Islander end.
Lots of speculation of what's going to happen with the coaching changes and the new general manager and what they're going to do in dealing with Alexei Yashin and his contract, which is the league highest at 7.6 right now. I guess, well, Yager's a little bit higher, but Yashin making $7.6 million this year on a 10-year deal he signed, I think 5 years ago, right?
He's got a lot of time left. That, in a lot of people's eyes, is the biggest problem.
Do you think?
Oh, yeah. Here's Hamilton trying to move in, shoots, and a save by Monroe. Then it hit the skate of Babchuk, rolled right back to the Hawk goaltender, and he covered it up.
Adam Monroe getting an opportunity here again against the Islanders. He has played well in the 3 games that he's played so far. Can't really fault anything that he's done. 2 wins and a shootout loss. And I guess if you look at it, when you go into a shootout against Marty Brodeur, I don't know what you can expect to come out of it, but Monroe certainly playing well here for Trent Yanni and raising some eyebrows in the decision that's going to have to be made here pretty soon when Nikolai Khabibulin comes off that injury.
And that won't be long. It sounds
Thursday.
to me, yeah, it sounds to me like he's ready. So something will have to transpire within the next couple of days. You would have to speculate. Here's Calder back at the Islander net. Works his way out to the far side. Got it to Verbata, who's well covered. Turns behind the net. Verbata sends it back to the far board. Calder picked it up. Got help from Arneson. Then Calder got it again. Works his way back to the Islander goal. Now Arneson dug it out. Put it to the line. Spacek. His long wrist shot went up off the glass. Lines up in behind the Islander net. York is battling there. Then Verbata dug it out. Walked in front to the backhand. Shoots. Good save by DiPietro. Rebound to the Islanders. And they're able to clear it back into the Chicago end. Shatan spins on the far side. Put it to the trailer. Sopel. He tried to center. Good coverage by Spacek. He prevented that pass from being completed. Brett Sopel back over the Hawk line. Now works his way in behind the net. Put it to the far side. Here's a long shot. In and out of the glove of Monroe, but the Hawks on the rebound as Holmquist able to capture. Holmquist, long feed for Bork over the line. Spins, then went down. The puck taken away, and the Islanders now start back. Bates over the line. Got it to Kavasha. Oleg Kavasha, who has just 5 goals for the Islanders. They're surprised by that lack of production. Now Barnaby over the line, shooting into the glove of DiPietro, holding on with 8 minutes gone by in a scoreless first this Chicago Blackhawk hockey.
Hey there, everyone. This is Dan Hampton, the Danimal, and I'm here for Chicago.
Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and affiliated companies. Home office, Columbus, Ohio.
Your local Nationwide insurance agents will contribute to the Blackhawk Alumni Association for every victory. Fund supports Chicagoland youth hockey programs. Nationwide is on your side.
Get in now with affordable partial season ticket plans. Call 312-943-HAWK or by visiting ChicagoBlackhawks.com for more information.
Face up to the right of Rick DiPietro. And Yashin won the draw. Then they throw it away. Lapointe with a long shot is blocked. In behind the goal it goes. And the puck jumped loose to the Islanders. Asham to Yashin. Alexei Yashin to the Hawk line is checked. It comes to the near side. Gervais put it in behind, and then an Islander player, Blake, went down. Keith's going to get a penalty. And here's Asham in the deep slot. His shot blocked. Hawks control the whistle sounds, and the Islanders will get their first power play.
Duncan Keith was in a battle behind the net, and Blake simply stepped on his stick, but that's the way it is called lately. So the Islanders are going to get their first power play, and 1 for 5 against Vancouver the other night. The only goal that they scored against the Canucks in that game, in that 8-1 loss, 8-1 disaster, was a power play goal by Alex Zitnik.
The Islander power play in the middle of the pack in the league season long. They have 46 power play goals in 45 games. Just 2 of their last 23, though. The Blackhawk penalty killing gave up 2 the other night. That's a real rarity. The Hawks, though, over 9 games have given up just 4 out of 44. Coming into the game tonight, the Hawks now 4th in the league in PK. Now it's in the Hawk zone. York on the near board. His centering pass picked out of the air, and Hunter did well to get a puck to settle down, but his shot went wide. And the Hawks able to get it to Barnaby, who cleared it the length. Sopel put it back over the line, but Chetan was offside, and the whistle sounds.
Trent Hunter laid a big check on Matthew Barnaby right at the blue line. Barnaby limping off. Looks like he might have a Charlie horse or something. Trent Hunter, 6'3", 210 pounds, is 4th in the National Hockey League in hits this season. He's a solid character player, up and down winger, 9 goals this season. A Calder finalist in 03-04 when he had a spectacular rookie season. 23 goals that year.
Hawks able to win a draw and clear. 70 seconds left in the Islander power play. Here's Zitnik racing to center. Put it to Kavasha to the line. He had it knocked away. Holmquist cleared at the length. Back comes Zitnik to Yashin. Carries it to the Hawk line. Now to the near corner. Shot it around the boards. Puck cleared back behind the Hawk goal. Kavasha put it out to the far point. Hamilton put it across. A long shot deflected just wide. Picked up by Vandermeer, and he hammered it back the other way.
DiPietro is a very good puck handling goaltender. He likes to come out very active in the net. Sometimes maybe too active. Blackhawks, if they are paying attention, they can take advantage of DiPietro because he wanders way out of the crease.
Now deep in the Hawk zone. The Islanders roll it into the far corner. Yashin left it there. Kavasha able to jam it loose. Back to the line. Hamilton back to Kavasha, top of the ring. His shot is blocked. The Hawk penalty over. And both teams are at full strength now. as it's dumped into the Chicago end. So an excellent PK turned in that time by the home side. The Islanders never really threatened. And now we're at the halfway point of a scoreless first period. Hawks are back in this rink in the United Center on Thursday. The Colorado Avalanche come into town for a 7:30 face-off time. And Friday will be in Minnesota. And Sunday, one of those great 6 o'clock starts for the Hawks and the Minnesota Wild. It's in the Islander end. Arneson on the far side. Got it to Calder, but the return pass didn't connect. And winds up back at center. And now we're going to have a penalty off the play. And we'll tell you about it when we come back. 8.5 to go. 0-0. This is Blackhawk hockey.
While passing through.
Tyler Arneson gets the nod. He goes off for hooking. New York Islanders get their second power play of the evening. And Pat, you mentioned an excellent kill on the first one. No scoring opportunities for the Islanders on that first power play of theirs.
Blackhawk penalty called on number 39, Arneson. 2 minutes for hooking at 11:20.
Now it's dumped into the Hawk zone. Hunter put it in behind the net. York is checked by Vandermeer. Now comes loose to the near side. Keith poked it to Dowd. He's able to send it the other way. Radek Martinek able to skate to center. Now crosses the line. Left it for Shatan. Sending it into the near corner. Keith has lost his stick trying to get a whistle by falling on the puck, but it's jammed over to the far board and Sopel. And now Calder, a good play to give Keith his stick. Here's Martinek holding it into the near side, and Shatan back to Martinek along one-timer. That went just wide. York from the end board trying to stuff it home, and a diving Monroe able to get to the far post in time to snuff it out.
Calder had given his stick down to Duncan Keith in the corner, and it was Sopel taking advantage of the fact that Calder really couldn't pressure him at all. Took the puck out of the zone, set the play up high, passed it across the blue line, down to the half boards, and then back for a one-timer that was tipped wide by York, and York tried to jam in his own rebound, but Monroe recovered quickly and got his paddle up against the post and held it.
Hawks win a draw. Cullimore around the boards to Bork, clearing. 45 seconds for the Chicago penalty. Here come the Islanders. Jitnik dumps it in. Spacek put it up the boards. Hamilton kept it in. Back behind the goal. Spacek retrieves. Hey, cleared it down all the way.
Little Jeff Hamilton, 5'10", 185 pounds, plays the point. He's a power play specialist. 6 points in 11 games. But he's had an opportunity here. Had a great career down in Bridgeport, American Hockey League affiliate of the Islanders.
Hawk clearing attempt hit a partition, went right to the slot, and a long shot by Hamilton, stopped by Monroe. Rebound picked up by Dowd. He cleared it all the way down, and that'll finish the Islander power play. Both teams were at full strength. And you have to call that one another dynamic penalty kill, wouldn't you?
Excellent kill. Keeping the Islanders on the outside. A couple times they had an opportunity to get the puck to the front of the net, but it was either deflected wide or some good coverage, taking away the shooting lanes.
The Hawks dump one in. Yakubov checked in the far corner. Picked up by Blake. Jason Blake races up the left side. He'll shoot it in. Took another crazy out. This one right toward the slot, but nobody there to retrieve. Hawks come out. Here's LaPointe in over the line. Walks in, shoots, and a pad save by DiPietro. Rebound of the Islanders. They're able to clear it to center. Simpson will hammer it back in there. Oh, look out in the crowd. That one went sailing up into the seats. 6 minutes to go in a scoreless first. This Chicago Blackhawk hockey.
Hey there, everyone.
He hops off the partition, one in the favor of the Islanders and one in the favor of the Blackhawks. Mark Bell sent Marty LaPointe down on a 2-on-1, and he fired a quick shot that DiPietro had to make a quick right pad save. Yakubov driving to the net looking for the rebound, but Adam Monroe is going to have to be sharp. Anytime you're not paying attention to what's going on and those pucks bounce off the partition, you never know where it's going to go.
Now it's dumped back into the Hawk zone. Bounce up the near side. Andy Hilbert able to chip it to center. Robiev sends it in. Mike York comes out, and it's dumped into Chicago ice. Each team has had 6 shots on goal so far in the game. None of them have gone in as they play for it deep in the Hog zone. Hunter leaves it in the far corner. Shatan dropped it back to the line. A long shot never got through, and it's picked up by Spacek, clearing to center. Mike York dumping it back in. Both teams want to make some changes on the move. Todd Simpson cleared it into the Islander end. Picked up by the Hawks. Arneson, a long shot. That grazed the outside of the netting on the near side of the goal. In behind it goes, and the Islanders' Zhitnik will fire it back to the Hog zone. Into the near corner. Hamilton poked it in deep. Now picked up by Arneson. He shot it back into the Long Island end. This one will go far enough for an icing call against Chicago.
Kind of a feeling out period so far. Adam Monroe had to make a couple big saves. DiPietro a couple at their end. You mentioned 6-6 in shots, so not a lot of offensive opportunity on a consistent basis by either team. 2 power plays for the New York Islanders, 1 for the Blackhawks. Really no good threats on either one of those power play opportunities for the Islanders, and neither for the Hawks.
Into the near corner goes Jason Blake. Blake for the Islanders. Shot it in behind the Hawk net. Now Asham rolled it out to the line. Here's Blake with a long slap shot. Good save by Monroe in traffic. Rebound Asham. His shot is blocked this time. And Calder, without a stick, able to kick it back into the Islander end. Aaron Asham back to the Hawk line. His long slap shot fought off by Monroe. Gave a rebound. Oh, and Yashin just barely failed to pick it up. And behind the net it goes, and Asham lost the handle. Vandermeer against Yashin to the corner, and it squirts loose for the Hawks. Bell now to Duncan Keith, sending Yakubov to the line, but he is ruled to be in ahead of the play.
One-on-one battle in the corner. Yashin against Vandermeer. My money's on Vandermeer, and that's who won the battle.
Every time. By the way, I mentioned, derisively mentioned Alexei Yashin earlier, and I really did that for your benefit. I know you were a former teammate of his in Ottawa, and all the guys you played with, he is certainly very high on your list. Now, the
Christmas card every year.
The title of that list will remain unnamed. But after watching what has happened with him and the Islanders, after he got that contract you talked about earlier, what do you think of the chances of there ever being another 10-year contract in our lifetime?
You know, it's just absolutely mind-boggling why he got that contract after his track record in Ottawa. I mean, he was my roommate in Ottawa, and that was about it. we didn't speak much, and we never traveled together. You always like to hang with your roommate, especially on the road, and just go out and have dinner and enjoy each other's company. Well, that never happened, and his contractual situation in Ottawa is well documented. Sat out on a couple contracts, sat out an entire National Hockey League year because he thought he was underpaid, and then he gets a $10 year, $100 million contract from the New York Islanders. Amazing.
And to compound all of that, I mean, how do you name him captain?
Well, okay. Here's Alexei Yashin, okay? He gets a $100 million contract. A week later, a couple days later, they signed Michael Pekka out of Buffalo. He was a captain in Buffalo. He is a true leader. So he ends up getting the C for the New York Islanders. Well, Alexei Yashin was mad and was pouting because he signed the bigger deal and figured that he should be captain. Well, not quite the way it works, and that's just his, you know, the way that he thinks, and was never happy in his rookie year in Ottawa because Alexander Daig was making more money than he was. It's just amazing. Not many guys making more money than he is now.
Well, yeah,
and he's laughing at us.
Yes, that's right. That's exactly right.
They can say whatever they want to say about me.
But he'll show up on the 15th and the 30th. I don't know how often he shows up otherwise.
It's a direct deposit. He doesn't have to show up for that.
A large direct deposit.
Well, you know what? He has some skill, and
that's the shame of it.
That is the shame of it, because you know what? You can go through coach, and you know what? Sometimes you got to look at why these coaches are not sticking around and the team doesn't have success.
We go to the final minute of the first now. Yakubov to the line, fakes a shot, goes wide, tried a wrister that was blocked. Now Lapointe sends it around the boards. Now the Islanders clear it to center. Vandermeer played it to Keith. Fired a long pass to Lapointe. Oh, and he had Yakubov break and tried to get it to him, but it was broken up. Lines up on the near side. Bell jammed loose to Yakubov. Threw it in behind the goal. Kicked out in front. Just escaping Lapointe's blade. And Blake the other way, racing in on Vandermeer. Jason Blake to the far circle. Quick spin move. And then his pass broken up by Yakubov. Another clock winding down with Keith back of his own goal. He is going to let the remaining time evaporate, and that will finish the opening period. 9 shots for Long Island in the first, 8 shots for Chicago in the first. And both goaltenders only tested once in a while.
No damage on the power play for either team, no damage on the scoreboard as we are knotted at 0 as we head back to Pat and Troy.
Thanks, Jess. The Blackhawks, Adam Monroe down to our left here for period 2, and Rick DiPietro to our right for Long Island. As the draw is cleared into the Chicago zone. Spacek sends Arneson to center. He dumped it in. Sopel able to clear it back to center ice. Now Cullimore for Arneson, whose pass deflects into the Islander bench.
Tyler Arneson, who Trent Yanni said had his best game against the Devils. Goal and assist, first star. He's +7 in his last 6 games, and that bodes well for Tyler Arneson, who has been criticized about his defensive play.
And Troy, for all of that, season long, he's a +1 now. So that is a nice tip of the cap to Arneson. As the draw now is dumped into the Islander zone. Into the corner, Lukowicz. Checked by Lapointe. He kicked it loose in behind. Yakubov is grabbed along the boards. Lapointe picked it up. Out to the line, Vandermeer. Floats it into the near corner. Duncan Keith is in deep and then unable to pick it up. Then he got it back at the dot. Shoots one. Good save by DiPietro with a left pad. Rebound bounce a crazy way off a partition, and Yakubov had it, then lost it. Now it's held in by Vandermeer. Then Yashin able to get to it and clear it to center. Here's Asham in over the line. A turnaround shot hit Alexei Yashin in the leg. Picked up now by Keith. Back of the goal it goes to Vandermeer. And he bounced it to center ice. The Islanders dump it back in. Picked up now by Vandermeer. To Vorobiev on right wing. Checked at the Islander line. That forced Hilbert in ahead of the play. So the whistle sounds.
Has been the case the last several games. Going back to the Washington game, Duncan Keith has played against the top line of every line in the last 3 games. Bell and Lapointe have played. Dowd played against Philadelphia and Forsberg. Sharp, who is not playing tonight because he has the flu, played last game against Sidney Crosby. And now on this time, it's Yakubov's opportunity to play as a checking line with Bell on the point, and Duncan Keith and Jim Vandermeer matching up against that line head-to-head. And I talked to Duncan Keith after the last game, and I asked him how many shifts did he play in that game against the Pittsburgh Penguins that were even strength against Crosby. He figures that Crosby was on the ice maybe 10 seconds when he wasn't. He was keeping track.
Islanders win a draw. Here's a shot. Oh, just off the tip of the glove of Monroe, able to get enough of it to keep Martinek's shot from going in. And the Hawks clear it to center. Vorobiev put it over the line. Hilbert with a wrist shot. Pad save, stick save really by DiPietro. Now a centering pass for Dowd. His shot in and out of the glove of DiPietro. The Islanders pick up the loose puck. And it's cleared to center. Kavasha dumped it in. Yaroslav Spacek. And his pass deflects. Vorobiev able to bang it ahead. Now the Islanders try to start back. And it's dumped into the Chicago zone. Simpson hit hard in behind the net, but Babchuk there to support. Picked up the puck, cleared it to center. And now in over the line comes Barnaby. Stops near side, shoots, missed the net. Rebound to the far board. And the Islanders able to come out with it. Hamilton dumped it in. Simpson cleared it back behind the goal. Babchuk to the left side. Bork has plenty of room. Rene Bork to Michael Holmquist. Carrying it over the line. Holmquist playing center on this line. It's cleared in behind the Islander net. Then along the boards, held in by Keith, whose shot is blocked. Winds up back of the Long Island goal on the stick of Zhitnik. This pass off the mark from Hamilton, sliding the length. Going to be an icing call against the visitors.
Pretty much the same field. The opening part of this second period, it was in the first period. Not a lot of real good scoring opportunities. DiPietro had to come out and was real quick on the reaction to Duncan Keith as he came off the boards and fired a quick shot that DiPietro looked really sharp. He was 5 or 6 feet out of the paint in that crease area. Came out and he's got those bright but ugly pads on. They're bright orange. They match the uniforms, but they certainly stick out, much the same as Fleury's bright yellow ones in Pittsburgh.
Well, if you don't like those pads, then you wouldn't have liked the Godfather of Soul the other night. It's about the color of his suit, James Brown.
He'd steal it from Spacek?
We'll have a face-off now in the center ice area. The Islanders on the road this year have lost 5 in a row. They're now 9-12-1 away from home. The Blackhawks at home 8-11-2. Here's the draw, taken by Cullimore. Sends it in. Shatan. Got as far as center, then was checked. And Calder now to the line. Rolled it to the far side. It jumped loose toward the slot. Arneson couldn't quite reach it. Calder hacking. He didn't connect. Now Verbata back to the line. Spacek, long shot. Tip. Good save by DiPietro. Rebound to the Islanders. Hunter. He couldn't get it out. Here's Cullimore with a long shot. DiPietro saw all of that. Kicked it aside with a left pad. Hunter the rebound. Cleared to center. And Shatan shoots it in. Arneson put it back into the Islander end. Oh, and DiPietro almost played that puck in the restricted area. Just got to the line before he did to touch it. He was about a half second away from getting a penalty, but not this time. And then a long pass deflects out of play.
The former first overall pick of 2000 was the first goalie to be drafted first overall in that 2000 draft by the New York Islanders. Shortly thereafter, they traded Robert Luongo down to Florida, and boy, what a great career Luongo's had down there. Just turned down a $30 million deal with the Panthers. Not really sure if he wants to stay with the Florida Panthers. And my other good friend down there, Mike Keenan, running that show.
Oh, and somebody doesn't want to stay? Well, there's a surprise. By the way, also involved in that trade, which a lot of people think might be the worst that Millbury ever made, they got Ole Jokinen in that deal, too. The Panthers did. So their leading scorer and one of the best young goalies in the game were Kavasha and I forget who else, somebody else, but somebody not nearly as prominent as either one of those two players. When the Islanders faithful get disgruntled about the way their team is playing, they start comparing notes on Mike Milbury's deals and trying to figure out which is the worst sometimes is problematic. I mean, he gave Todd Bertuzzi away, too.
Todd Bertuzzi and Brian McCabe, who's having a great year for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and a third-round draft pick that turned out to be Jarkko Ruutu to Vancouver for Trevor Linden. Oops.
Oopsie.
Now Trevor Linden is back in Vancouver, of course.
Robia trying to center, just missing the blade of Dowd. He was driving up the middle of the ice. Now the Islanders get control, and Parrish sends it in. No score in the game. 13:33 to go in the second. There's a long shot by Hamblin. Good save by Monroe in traffic. Rebound cleared back to the Islander zone.
How about Zdeno Chara and a draft pick that turned out to be number 2 overall, Jason Spezza for Yashin.
Oh, boy. Now here's a good save by DiPietro on a shot from Holmquist. I don't even follow the Islanders or care about them, and my stomach's starting to turn.
Drafting DiPietro first overall ahead of Danny Heatley.
Oops again. 7 minutes gone by here in a scoreless second, this Chicago Blackhawk hockey.
I run fast.
I run with purpose.
I run for beer.
Not just any beer. Great tasting beer.
I am a beer runner.
Colorado Avalanche storm into Chicago this Thursday, January 19th for 7:30 face-off. Great seats are available by calling 312-559-1212. Got to come and see Super Joe.
Boy, you talk about not only a great player, but a class act. What a wonderful Hall of Fame career he's had and continues to have. Hawks were short of center when they dumped one in here, and an icing call against Chicago.
The Avalanche have certainly turned it up in the last little while. The winners of 8 in a row. I think they're playing. Are they playing tonight somewhere?
They're at home. Toronto's there.
Toronto, that's it. Yeah. Toronto making their Western Conference swing.
Mike York wins the draw to Sopel. He put it back in the Hawk net. Babchuk checked. Hunter picked it up. A hot pass sailed through to the near side. Now picked up by Holmquist. Clearing it to the Islanders' zone. Zhitnik comes out. He carries it all the way to the Hawk line. Zhitnik going up the middle. Poke check, then it's carried on. Picked up by Hunter. A shot. And the shot was stopped, although the Hawks looked like they're going to get a penalty. Although the Islanders had the puck. I'm not sure why the whistle blew, but Hawks just as happy that it did as referee St. Pierre makes the call.
Trent Hunter was winding up right in the slot area, and the puck had bounced off one of the Hawks' skates. Maybe that's why they called it, but certainly no possession on behalf of the Blackhawks. Faceoff will come to the right of Adam Monroe, the Islanders on their 3rd power play of the evening.
The second trip to the box for Tyler Arneson here.
39, Tyler Arneson, 2 minutes for hooking at 8:03.
Now the draw. Here's a long shot. Good toe save, Monroe. The shot might have deflected as Zhitnik let her go from the line. And Monroe just made his best save of the game.
Great reaction.
Now Yashin into the Hawk zone. Stripped away from behind, but carried on by Hamblin, although the puck had escaped the zone. And the offside whistle sounds.
Blackhawks have continued the way that they've killed in the last little while, and they're without Curtis Brown, who's very close to coming back. Patrick Sharp, who did an excellent job in the last several games on the penalty kill. Both those guys not out, and the system that they're playing right now, Pat, is really kind of the key. You can throw those guys in there, and if everybody's buying into the same system defensively on the kill, they're going to have great results.
Well, they sure have here the last month. Here's the Yashin now in the hog zone. Trying to center one, tip. Oh, Parrish's deflection went wide. He was alone at the top of the crease. Here's Yashin now. He's at the near point. Threw it to the corner. Kavash's pass broken up by a skidding Vandermeer. Held in by Yashin. His long slap shot. He scores. Alexei Yashin with a long blast by the glove of Monroe, and the Islanders on the power play take the lead.
Well, this is one of some good movement for the Islanders, and ended up on the stick of Yashin, and he fired a good slap shot from the point with traffic in front. I don't think Monroe had an opportunity to see this one until it was past him. Good screen in front of the net. Actually might have been tipped maybe in the slot area. I'm not really sure who's going to get credit for this. But Tyler Arneson, 2 sloppy penalties, and you got to be careful with that. Every time you head up to the box, you're giving a team some life and an opportunity on the man advantage to take control of this game, and that's exactly what happened in that situation. Yashin now in the last 3 games that he's played, these Blackhawks, and I hate to mention this, is 4 goals in the last time they were here in March of '03.
Here's a chance for Spashik, a shot. Good save by DiPietro, well out of the net to challenge his shooter. And DiPietro got a piece with his glove, a great stop, maybe his best of the night. Now Lapointe back of the goal. Lapointe rolled it to the line. Cullimore able to keep a bouncer in. Now Spashik to the near corner. Yakubov turns behind the net. Now a centering pass hopped away from Bell, who was taken down, and an Islander penalty coming up.
A couple years ago when the Islanders made an appearance here in March of '03, Yashin had 4 goals. And then 2 years ago, remember, Pat, in that snow bowl in New York when a bus got stuck on the way to the rink?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, they only had about 3,000 people show up on the island at Nassau County Coliseum because there was a huge storm there. Yashin had another 2 goals there and scores 1 here, so 7 goals in the last 3 games against these Blackhawks.
Meanwhile, a penalty on Asham for tripping Bell, so the Hawks with a chance to answer the Islander power play goal.
At 9:45, New York penalty call on number 45, Asham. 2 minutes for tripping at 9:45.
Here comes Verbata. Sends it in. Out to the near point, or the far point it goes. Held in across to Bell. Far board Verbata. Threw it in deep. Calder hammers it back around the board. Hawks being forced to the perimeter in the early going here. Well, they wrestle on the boards, held in by Bell. Trying to center one. Here's Verbata. He couldn't get the puck to settle down. In a good scoring position. Well, the Islanders' York checked to the near corner. He got it back. Made a good pass to Sopel, clearing the length.
Islanders really pressuring that power play, keeping them on the outside. Looks like the Blackhawks were trying to shoot the puck out a couple times, just trying to get it away from the pressure.
Here's Bell walking up the middle. Had to clear it into the far corner. Bork put it out to the line. Spashik there. He holds it in for Hilbert. Far corner, Arneson. Back to the line it goes. Now Arneson once more to the near point, and Bell, it sailed up over his stick and out of the zone. Bell dives. He couldn't pick it up. Here's a chance, 2-on-1 for the Islanders. Parrish a shot. Blocked by Spashik. Yarrow Spashik just broke up an Islander 2-on-1 shorthanded.
Well, Mark Bell was out there for a minute and a half, and he was dead tired and couldn't get his legs from a dead stop on the far blue line after that puck from Arneson hopped over his stick. He tried to sprawl out and throw it back. Spashik on a 2-on-1 situation went down and blocked it, and it stayed underneath him, but an excellent defensive play by Spashik.
Off the draw, the Islanders along. Wrist shot from Lukowicz is handled by Monroe. And a face-off of the Hawks home with half a minute left on the Chicago power play.
Now they haven't even had a chance to set it up here. Only, you mentioned, half a minute left to go here. Face-off inside the zone. They got to win it. They've lost 2 in a row and another loss here. And Blake just takes it out of the zone, throws it back to DiPietro.
Well, you said he likes to handle a puck, and they don't mind giving it to him. He cleared it to center, then it shot the rest of the way down. And now out comes Vandermeer. Carries it to the Islander line. Turns on the near side. His pass picked off. Now the Islander penalty over. Here's a lead for Asham just out of the box, and he's in ahead of the play. So the offside whistle sounds, and that Hawk power play snuffed out really without a threat. And we have eight minutes to go in the second.
Fees and optional equipment extra. That's an 06 Trailblazer LS 4-wheel drive for just $29,660.
See your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers today and tell them the Danimal sent you.
Fans enjoy a Blackhawks game as a group of 15 or more. Group tickets start at only $10. Call 312-943-HAWK or by visiting ChicagoBlackhawks.com.
Now the draw taken by the Hawks on a penalty as Yashin and Yakubov had quite a duel going off the faceoff, and then Lapointe is the guy going to get tagged, probably for interference off the draw. Well, the Islanders back to the power play.
Old school Marty Lapointe right off that faceoff. I'm not sure who it was. Might have been Kavasha who jumped ahead of him. He tried to hook him up, and you mentioned the battle that was Yashin and Yakubov. You would assume that maybe one of those guys was going to get the penalty, but Lapointe on the wing hooked up his guy, and he's the one headed to the box.
Blackhawk penalty called at number 22, Lapointe. 2 minutes for hooking at 11:55.
Islanders dump it in. Duncan Keith chipped it up the boards. Calder can't find it. Now it rolled loose to the line. Zhitnik put it in deep. Kavasha wrestling with Vandermeer in the corner. Now Yashin picked it up. His pass picked off. Good read by Keith, who knew it was coming. He stepped in the passing lane, picked it off. Shot it back at the Islander end. Now a Zhitnik pass was at the feet of Parrish. The Hawks steal and clear. A minute to go in the Islander power play. Yashin up the right side, in over the line. Waits, a drag move, he shoots, and his wrister went wide. It's held in by Hamilton. To Kavasha, out of the far point, a Zhitnik shot, hit some traffic in front. Hunter to the far board. To Zhitnik, a long shot, glove save, Monroe, he'll hold it.
Islander power play, very similar to what the Blackhawks are trying to do. Just get the puck back to the point, find a shooting lane, and get to the puck to the front of the net with traffic there. Trent Hunter right on the doorstep of Adam Monroe, and this last shot that came through, I think he tipped it. Monroe had to make a quick glove save and held on to it. No secret to it.
Hawks win a draw, and Barnaby clears at the length. Now half a minute for the Islander power play. Here comes Martinick, dumping it in. Back of the goal, Hunter. To Martinick at the near point. Up the boards to Chatan. Sends it in deep. Vandermeer got to it, jammed it loose on the near side. Keith looking to clear. It didn't get out. Now Vandermeer will ham it around the far board, and now a hand pass ruled here against the Hawks to stop the play.
Mario Lapointe out of the box, so a good kill there. You certainly don't want to give up another power play goal here to the Islanders, who scored their first goal of the game on the power play. Yashin with his 16th of the season.
So the face-off in the neutral zone. There's the draw. Taken by Cullimore. Clears it ahead. Lapointe chases into the near corner. Centered one. That's too hot to handle for Bell. Spasha picked it up, shoots. That one's blocked. In behind the goal it goes. Clearing attempt took a funny hop right to Bell, but his shot hit his leg, went wide. Now Yakubov made a good pass on the point. In front to Bell. He's open. He shoots. And a save by DiPietro. Then a goal might have been saved by an Islander defender after it went past the goalie. Here's a long shot by Lapointe. That's stopped by DiPietro. Lapointe again far side. To the deep slot. It was off the mark from Spasik. Hawks will have to regroup at center. And now a penalty coming up as Verbata was taken down trying to move in there. Rabada long wrist shot, tip, deflected up off the glass. And back of the goal goes Calder with the extra attacker out there for the Hawks. Here's a centering attempt picked off. And the whistle sounds with 5 minutes remaining in the second. Hawks to the power play, trailing 1.
Log on today.
Welcome back to United Center. 5 minutes to go here in the second period. Islanders up by 1. Blackhawks getting their second power play opportunity of the game.
5, Jason Blake, 2 minutes for tripping at 15:06.
Oh, now the play in the Islander zone. Rabada far side back to Spacek, a long one-timer. Never got through. Hacked that. Lapointe, his backhand went wide. Now York chased it down. He's checked. They battle away in the near corner. York doing well. The Hawks can't jam it loose. Now it does come free, and the Islanders pick it up. Hunter carries 2-on-2 to the Hawk line along Slapper. In and out of the glove of Monroe, but Spacek there to retrieve. Well, that Trent Hunter, you mentioned him. He likes to hit. Every chance he gets to take a piece of somebody, he does. Here's Rabada moving and shoots. And a save, rebound. Hacked away from Calder. Great play by DiPietro. He just saved himself a goal against because Calder was going to have an empty netter. Well, a good initial stop and then great recovery by DiPietro to use his goal stick to sweep it off Calder's blade. Now in behind the Islander net. Here's Bork. He had it knocked away. And into the far corner they wrestle for it. Calder came up with it, or Arneson did. He's grabbed along the boards. Arneson able to hang on to it. Sweeps it to the slot. Here's Bell. He unloads. Fired it wide. A hot blast, but he missed the net. Of a great feed from Arneson. Now Bell with a near point along. Stop shot stopped by DiPietro. Here's Bell going to try again. That one didn't get through. Rolled to DiPietro. He decides to play it loose. The Islanders look to clear, and it did get out. Vandermeer quickly back over the line. Caught him in a change. He walks right in. Shoots. He scores! Jim Vandermeer. A brilliant rush up the ice as the Islanders caught it in change. He beat a check at the line, then was in, and he snapped the wrister to the middle of the net. We're tied at 1.
What a great read by Jim Vandermeer. You mentioned it. The Islanders had a chance to shoot it down the ice, and they only chipped it out in the neutral zone. Vandermeer picked up that puck and just turned it up ice, and he went through the parting of the Red Sea. Only one Islander left on the ice, and he was on the wrong side of the ice for Jim Vandermeer, and he walked in and faked a shot. DiPietro went down. Vandermeer continued on forward on his forehand and then fired into the open net. What a beautiful effort by Jim Vandermeer, and just a great read right off the bat. If he hesitates, he doesn't have that opening, and he just turned up ice and took it right to DiPietro.
So that will go down as a power play goal for the Hawks. It'll be Vandermeer's 6th of the year.
On the power play, his 6th of the season, scored by number 23, Jim Vandermeer. Unassisted at 17 minutes. Blackhawk goal on the power play, his 6th, scored by Vandermeer, unassisted at the 17-minute mark.
Here's a good pass to Holmquist over the line. Stops near dot, shoots. Good save, DiPietro. Rebound for Vorobiev. Shoots one. DiPietro gobbles that up and hangs on to it.
Blackhawks have picked up the tempo here in the latter part of the second period. They've been taking it to the Islanders. Mark Bell had a couple glorious scoring opportunities and let 2 or 3 wicked one-timers go. That DiPietro saved one of them. One went wide. And then that one where he was right off to the near post here all alone. DiPietro slid across. I've been impressed with the quickness of DiPietro. He's certainly all over the place and showing great athleticism.
Now they draw in the Islander zone. Goes to the far board. It's jammed loose to Rabada. Had it knocked off his stick, then he got it back. Turns behind the net, flipped it out in front, and that pass never quite got to Arneson. Back of the goal, Calder. Checked by York. Then it rolled over to the far side. The Islander Chatan able to sweep it to center. Hawks dumping it back in. Taken by Zhitnik. Zhitnik cleared it in over the Hawk line. Centering attempt broken up by Cullimore to LaPointe. Then to Bell. Flipped it in. The Islanders, Shatan. Shot it to the center ice area. Hawks put it back into the Long Island zone. And now it's picked up by Hunter. He fired it beyond everybody. This one's going to go the length for an icing call against the Islanders with 70 seconds left in the second.
Blackhawks have done a pretty good job on the faceoffs in that first period, 67%. They need to win a big draw here. The Islanders can't make the change that they wanted to. The Blackhawks left out their guy, or to put out a fresh lineup forward. Left Keith and Vandermeer on the point. So if they can win the faceoff here, you got some tired New York Islander players on the ice.
It's to the right of 24-year-old Rick DiPietro, already in his 5th NHL year at the age of 24. Hawks get the draw to the far board. Vorobiev picked it up, shoots one, and a save by DiPietro. Rebound cleared to the line. It doesn't get out. Hilbert throws it in deeper into the final minute of the second. Now the puck cleared to the near board. Held in by Duncan Keith. His pass was out of the reach of Hilbert. And it shot back into the Chicago end. Out comes Keith. His pass deflected away from Vorobiev to Yashin, stepping in over the line to the near side, flipped it out in front, knocked away from Asham. Hawks scurried back after a turnover and made a good play defensively. Now here's Dowd shooting it in. The Islanders dump it out. And this will finish the second period. So in period 2, each team of the power play go to a 2-point night. Rick DiPietro to our left for the Islanders, Adam Monroe to our right for the Blackhawks. As the Arneson line opens up for Chicago against the Mike York line for the Islanders. And we're underway. The draw is controlled by Spacek in his own end. Now Spacek will come to center, shoot it in. It didn't get deep. Sopel picked it off. And Brett Sopel gave it a Shatan. He didn't get it deep into the Hawk end either. Cullimore takes over. Cleared it into the Islanders' zone. Sopel up the right side to Shatan. Cleared it to center. Hunter carries it to the line. Spacek got a piece, but Hunter jammed loose. Oh, and Shatan couldn't hold the pass. He really should have had a great chance. Couldn't hang on to it. The Islanders then try to keep in a clearing attempt. Not quite. And the offside whistle blows. But that Hunter, he's a big, strong kid, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. And what I noticed, I mean, he bowled over Spacek coming down the boards. And the guy who intercepted the pass, who was standing on the doorstep of Adam Monroe, was Tyler Arneson, back in great defensive positioning in his own zone, covering up for Spacek. So a great defensive play by Arneson to read that. Trent Hunter, a nice individual effort to get by Spacek and get to the pass to the front of the net, but Arneson, great defensive positioning.
Yakubov is taken down here at center, and now the Hawks will get an early third period power play.
Well, this is just what you want to start the third period. If you can capitalize here, you can really put the Islanders behind the 8 ball. Fresh ice, not going to be bouncing around as it is at the end of a period. So I think, you know, I mean, it's a point in the game right now where if you can make the difference on the power play, I mean, this could be the game right here. If you score this goal, it could take all the momentum away from the Islanders. They're very fragile at this point, and certainly give a big lift to the Hawks.
1 for 3, the Hawk power play tonight.
Tripping at 104. New York penalty call number 45, Asham. 2 minutes for tripping at 104.
Here's Verbata at the near point with it. Side of the goal to LaPointe, trying to center one. The stick of DiPietro in the way of that, and he tipped it over the glass and out of play.
Very impressed the way Verbata handles himself. He took that puck out of the zone and came all the way out to the top of the blue line. That way, the defender, who's down low as a defensive positioning, he can't come all the way up to Verbata, and allows him to stop, turn around, set up the whole play. If he stays on those half boards, that's when the defenseman can jump and put pressure on you and force a turnover. But Verbata very confident heading up to the blue line and making the plays up high.
Bell wins the draw. Now Spacek, a long shot up off the glass. Back of the goal goes Calder. He will leave it there. Puck cleared around the boards, held in by Spacek. Chipped it to the far side. Bell into the corner, and Calder put it out to the deep slot. Spacek fakes to Verbata, one-timer, and a good save by DiPietro, skating to his right. The clearing attempt held in by Bell. Deep slot Spacek. Near side to Verbata, and to throw it in behind. Now LaPointe had his pass picked off by York, who cleared. A minute to go in the Hawk power play. Now Spacek in his own end. Got it to Arneson with some room to center. He carries it over the outer line, and it's dumped in. Into the far corner it goes. Arneson jammed the loose, but his pad's too hot to handle for Vandermeer. Goes out of the zone. And back forward is Babchuk. Put it into the Islander end. DiPietro going to try to clear it himself. It's held in though by Babchuk. However, the puck escaped him. And the puck cleared back into Chicago territory. Blake took it away from Babchuk, back of the net. Turns to the near corner. Hard-working but diminutive Jason Blake. Finally, the Hawks able to get control of it again. Meanwhile, the Islander penalty over. And both teams are at full strength. Here comes Hamilton over the line. Left it for Kavasha. Wrist shot. Blocker save Monroe. And the Hawk goal knocked off the moorings as a couple of folks went skidding in there.
One player I do like on the Islanders, you just mentioned his name, Jason Blake. Went to Ferris State, and after his first year at Ferris State, transferred over to the University of North Dakota and had to be redshirted for a whole year, and then had 3 great years with the University of North Dakota. He is 5'10", 180 pounds, and he gives it everything that he has every game. And he's just coming back. He had a concussion. He was hit awkwardly in a game earlier this season, hit awkwardly into the boards, was out with a concussion. And the other night against the Calgary Flames, Dion Phaneuf just absolutely creamed him behind the net. And they've talked about it last couple, the last part of that game. And then the game in Vancouver, very tentative, not the normal way that he plays the game, but obviously feeling healthy and confident and playing with the same vigor that he normally does here tonight.
Yeah, he really is fun to watch, and a guy you give a lot of credit to. He certainly gets whatever his ability is, he gets the most out of it. Here's a loose puck for Hamilton, and he fired a one-timer wide. Blake, by the way, tied for the Islander lead with 17 goals. He and Shatan matching those numbers.
He was a Hobie Baker finalist with North Dakota. Partial to those Fighting Sioux.
Hey, you should be. Meanwhile, Barnaby cleared it over the line. Dowd stops to the near side. Put it in deep. Now the Islanders, Martinick takes over. Shot it to center. Calder back in over the line. Ran into some traffic trouble. Verbata got it back. The Calder far aboard. Jammed it loose for the Islanders there, and it's cleared to center ice. This game is tied at 1 with 5 minutes gone in the third. The announced crowd 12,332 in the United Center tonight. Now in the Chicago end. Rolled into the near circle. Shatan picked it up looking to settlement. Oh, that just sailed over the stick of Hunter, who was alone momentarily in the slot. And it's shot back into the Islander zone. Of course, with these two teams in opposite conferences, they really don't play very much anymore. But over the last 20 years, there have been 40 games between the Hawks and the Islanders, and Chicago has dominated those get-togethers. 26 Blackhawk wins, just 6 losses and 8 ties. As the Islanders now guilty of icing.
In the last 11 home games against the Islanders, a 9-1-1 record. I would say that fares well for the Blackhawks here with 14 to go here in the third period.
Face off to the right of DiPietro. Dowd wins the draw. Then Sopel got to it, and he cleared it into Chicago territory. Taken by Keith. To Vandermeer, who has the Blackhawk goal tonight. Jim Vandermeer dumping it in. Islanders cleared back to center. Now picked up by Keith. To Vorobiev to the line. Near side to Hilbert. Shoots one. Went wide. Rebound. Yakubov jammed it loose, with the Islanders Sopel in the slot. Here to Yashin over the Hawk line. Alexei Yashin into the near corner. Then turns behind the goal. Rolled it to the line. Islanders able to keep it in. Asham in the near corner. Leaves it for Blake. And a long wrist shot sticked away by Monroe, and this one going out of play with 7 minutes gone in the third. 1-1. This is Chicago Blackhawk.
Seats are available. My NHL, my Blackhawks. Let's go. Call 312-943-HAWK or visit ChicagoBlackhawks.com.
This Sunday, January 22nd, the Minnesota Wild come to United Center to play a 6 p.m. start. Stage seats are available by calling 312-559-1212.
The draw in the Hawk zone. Yashin picked it up, shoots. Good save, Monroe. He's able to hang on to it, and then Vandermeer rode Yashin to the end boards. The Islander captain didn't like it. But there have been a couple of real battles on faceoffs here between Yakubov and Yashin. That time the Islander got the better of it.
Well, it's so hard for a defending center now to tie up the other centerman. I mean, that was one of the fortes that I had going for me, is when you lose a draw, you could just tie up the other centerman. You can't do that anymore, and Yashin snuck in behind Yakubov and got a shot off on Monroe.
Yakubov wins the next draw. The Hawks able to dump it in. Now picked up by the Islanders. Lukowicz shot it back into the Chicago end. Duncan Keith for Yakubov. He was checked at center, lost the handle. Now Lukowicz able to pick it up for Long Island. He'll fire a long one that sailed up off the glass. And the Hawks clear it back into the Islanders zone. Bourque is hustling. Here's DiPietro having to wander to the corner to play the puck away from Bourque, who would have gotten there first. And now the Islanders, York, unable to get it out of his own end. But eventually it does deflect to center ice. Trent Hunter cleared it over the Hawk line. York flipped it in deep. Monroe tries the near board, but Hunter there to keep it in. Then he's checked. Barnaby backhands it to the Islander blue line. Back comes Martinick into the Hawk zone. He was checked, rolled loose in behind. York wrapped up on the end boards. Arneson jammed it loose, but Hunter kept it in with a shot from the corner, hit the side of the net. Then came in front. Chatan, his one-timer went just wide. And it's picked up now by Calder with room to center. Gains the line. Calder on left wing. Tried to flip it in front, just out of the reach of Verbata. And now the Islanders, Martinick. That is pass picked off by Arneson. Calder picked it up, threw it in front, just knocked away before reaching Verbata. And then the Islanders clear it back to the Hawk line. Picked up by Bates, trying to walk in, stick handle the backhand, right in. Oh, and he pulled it to the forehand, had an open net, and rolled off his blade. Otherwise, the Islanders would be in front, and really they should be after a great rush by Sean Bates. And now the Hawks able to clear it to center. Soap will put it back in there. Babchuk rolled it to the near side. Bates tries to center that, hit a leg to Bates into the far corner now. Put it out to the line. A long shot went wide to Hilbert. Andy Hilbert shot it to the Islanders' zone. Kavasha back to the Hawk line. Didn't have any help as his teammates were changing. And back goes Sopel to touch up for an icing call. We're halfway through the third. We're tied at 1. This is Chicago Blackhawk hockey.
Fall sports are here.
Coach Brad Shaw sends out his Yashin #1 unit. The line of Dowd, Hilbert, and Vorobiev still on the ice because they were on the ice when that face-off happened.
Here's the draw now. Cleared into the center ice area. Now LaPointe, had his pass hit the stick of Yash and go out of play.
On that last individual rush up the ice by Sean Bates, he had one-on-one with Anton Babchuk. Went around Babchuk on his backhand, cut across the front of the net. Had Monroe beat. Puck slid off his stick and just wide of the net, and the only thing that ended up past the goal line was Bates himself as he ended up in the net.
Sent to the Islanders zone. Picked up by Asham to Yashin. Alexei Yashin over the Hawk line on Vandermeer, who jolts him along the boards. Yakubov took it away to Bell on left wing at center. Shoots it in there. Zhitnik picked it up. Cleared it ahead. Islanders looking to counter here. Sopel into the zone for Yashin. A wrist shot fought off by Monroe with his right shoulder. Rebound deflected back into the neutral area. Brett Sopel cleared it to center ice. Conley dumped it in. Now in behind the goal it goes. Islanders have a fourth line out there that's hardly played at all so far tonight. Coley and Goddard have had about, in the first 2 periods, had about 3 minutes of ice time or so. So they're getting a rare chance here from Coach Shaw. They cleared into the Hawk zone. Back of the net, Spacek. Up the left side to Calder. He flipped it ahead. Now Arneson lost the handle as it's cleared to center ice. Simpson put a good pass over the line for Verbata. Walked in, shoot. Oh, it deflected just wide. And off the end boards, DiPietro will cover at the side of the net.
Every time Radim Verbata is on the ice, he is an offensive threat. Well, I'll tell you what, it may have taken him a couple games to get his legs underneath him, but the last several games he has been great. In the 8 games that he's played here, 4 goals, and of course those 4 goals have all come in the last 4 games. He's got a little streak going here. He's a +3, so it certainly hasn't been a defensive liability since he's been here in Chicago, and is controlling that power play that it looks much, much better than it has in the past.
It's in the Islanders zone. Oh, Chatan able to roll it back to center. And it's dumped into Chicago ice. Monroe almost lost it behind the net. The Islanders got there quickly, but York unable to retrieve it. It's shot back into the Long Island end.
I heard Jim Vandermeer, who was the defenseman on the far side, yell at Monroe because he was just going to leave that puck alone. Vandermeer smartly called Monroe and told him to heads up on that play, and wisely Monroe chipped it back into the corner.
We're down to 7 minutes remaining in the third. 1-1 is the score. Yashin, a power play goal for the Islanders. Vandermeer, a power play goal for the Blackhawks. Oh, the Islanders keep it in. That play was going to be called offside by Vaughn Rode. He decided to let it go. Then a long shot went just wide. Here's another long shot, and Parrish tipped it just outside the near post. Two very close calls for the Islanders on a play that looked offside and was going to be called offside. And Rode then, in his mind's eye, took a second look and said play on.
Well, Pettinen was outside the line, but he gloved it down, and his glove looked like it was right on the line, but his body and his skates, everything was outside the line, and it was a very close call. It could have went either way, but after that, a couple good scoring opportunities by the Islanders.
Now it's shot into the Hawk zone. Cullimore fires it out to center. The Islanders have had 4 shots on goal in the first 14 minutes of this third period. The Blackhawks have had 1. Now it's deep in the Hawk zone. Yashin back of the net. Works his way out toward the slot on his backhand, and then finally ran into traffic. It's knocked away to Bell. Carries it back into the Islander end. Turns near side. The trailer is Spashik. Here's the drive. And a save by DiPietro. Rebound held in by Simpson. His long shot. DiPietro just hit a rebound. Oh, he made a great save on Bell. After the initial save was lucky, that just happened to hit him. A great rebound save on Mark Bell. Now in the behind Bravada for Bell. His shot is blocked. Now the Islanders under a great amount of pressure, finally able to clear it to center.
Great shift by Yakubov, Bell, and Marty Lapointe. They controlled the puck down, and Mark Bell had a couple glorious scoring opportunities. DiPietro not tested here in the third period, but had to come up with some big ones right there.
Now Sopel deep in his own end. Put it off the glass to center. Hawks will pound it right back in. Calder on the far side of the corner. Turns now in behind the net. Passed it to himself off the back of the goal. Then Verbata picked it up, put it out in front. Arneson with a shot. And a save by DiPietro, point blanker. Arneson again near side. Into the corner with it. Left it there for Calder. Kyle Calder against Sopel. Got rid of him with a spin move. Put it side of the goal. Verbata waits, hangs on, now shoots. Try to go high the short side. He hit the side of the goal with it. And 2 great shifts in a row here for the home team. Here's a centering pass deflected back to Arneson, far corner. Spins away from a check, shoots one. DiPietro rebound. He made a second save on Arneson. And now Hunter got to the loose puck for Long Island and scooped it to the Hawk line.
Boy, I tell you what, Arneson and Verbata and Calder had that puck on a string. The Islanders couldn't do anything. They were spinning, making beautiful plays in front of the net. DiPietro, some spectacular saves in close.
Now from their own end, the Islanders able to get to center. Pettinen tried a shot that was blocked. Now on the far side, Bates picked it up. Threw it to the corner. A centering attempt deflected to Kavasha far side. Works his way in behind the Hawk goal. Cullimore knocked it loose, but it goes to Parrish, whose shot is blocked. And the Hawks clear it to center. Bork dive, trying to send it ahead. And Barnaby will be able to dump it in. Islanders then clear it back to the Hawk zone. Picked up by Simpson. Down to 3 minutes left now in the third in a 1-1 game. Here's Todd Simpson. He'll shoot it in there. The Islanders, Zhitnik fires it back the other way. This one will go the length for an icing call against the visitors. It's late in the third. We're tied at 1. This Blackhawk hockey.
Susan, will you marry me?
But we just met.
I know.
2 days ago.
I know, but I have this feeling.
Reservations, call 312-455-7033. That's 312-455-7033. My NHL, my Blackhawks. Let's go.
Troy Murray and Pat Foley at the United Center. 2:28 to go here in the third period. The Islanders and the Hawks all knotted up at 1. Last few minutes, Pat, the Blackhawks have put some pretty good pressure on DiPietro and the Islanders inside their own zone, and only some great save by DiPietro is keeping this score tied.
Islanders win a draw, and Sopel from his own end cleared it to the Hawk line. Now they get it in deep. Taken by Vandermeer. With 2 minutes left in regulation. Here comes Keith. This pass didn't connect with LaPointe. Shot back the other way. Vandermeer grabbed by York. And good support from Yakubov to pick up the loose change. And it's cleared back into the Islanders zone. This one, though, will go the length for an icing call against Chicago. Hawks wanted to change here, and now this new rule, which I love, will require some players at the end of a shift to stay out there.
Well, this is the line that you want to go head-to-head with Yashin down the stretch here. Yakubov, Bell, and Marty LaPointe, they all have to come back on the ice, and Bradshaw not electing to throw Yashin's line out there right now. But if these guys don't get off, you're going to have a matchup that Trent doesn't want in the last minute and a half here, because I know Shaw's going to send out Yashin's line up next, so the Hawks got to get this puck out and get a change as quick as they can.
Bell able to pick it up, scoop it to the, he tried to get it out of the zone. It deflected out of play. So now,
he's going
to get a penalty. I thought that puck deflected. It did not. Mark Bell ruled to have shot it out of play from his own end, and an Islander power play with a minute and a half left.
And that's where that rule comes into play. Bell was tired. He just finished a whole shift. They iced the puck. He was still on the ice, and all he could do was try and chip it down the ice. He was tired. He tried to do the right thing, but as he tried to chip it out of the zone, puck went up and over the glass and in behind the penalty box area. So, wow, that's where that rule absolutely just comes into play.
Here's a long shot, just missing the far post, then a hot bounce from the end boards, and Monroe alertly able to cover. And after the first one eluded him to his right.
Well, you got a minute 22 left here in regulation, and if the Islanders don't score, they'll have a power play for 30 seconds. 4-on-3 in the overtime session.
Face off to the right of Monroe. The draw comes behind the net. Now Kavasha sends it around the boards. Held him by Hamilton. Threw it in deep. Kavasha back of the net. Checked by Keith. He poked it loose. Barnaby with time. Oh, and he didn't get it out. It winds up in behind the goal. Taken by Vandermeer. We go to the final minute of the third on an Islander power play. Yashin back of the net to Kavasha. Oleg Kavasha to the far side, out to the line Hamilton. Give it to Kavasha, then to the corner Yashin. Back to the deep slot Hamilton. Touch pass for Zhitnik near point. Back to Hamilton. He waits for the long wrist shot, never got through. Bounce to Barnaby. He's got time again. This time we'll skate to center and clear with half a minute to go in the third. Zhitnik comes out to Sopel. Carries it over the line. Put it to York. Now to Shatan on the near board. Dropped it to Sopel, who shoots. A deflection from York went wide. 10 seconds to go. Into the far corner it goes. York looks for help. His pass hit a leg. Bounced free at the side of the goal. Monroe reaching, trying to cover, could not, but it went right to Bork. One-on-one the other way. Bork against Martinek will run out of time as the third period comes to an end.
A little bit different right here is there's going to be lots of room for the Islanders to maneuver out there on a 4-on-3.
All right, here's the draw. Taken by the Islanders, Zhitnik. He carries it to the line. Had to chip it into himself. In behind the goal, he chased it down. Zhitnik now. Rolled it out to the far point. Hamilton moves to the deep slot as they try to get their power play set up. Just a couple seconds left in the penalty, though. And the near dot, it's Zhitnik. Looks for Hamilton. A good deflection, good read by Dowd to tip that pass out of the zone. The Hawk penalty over. And we now are back to 4 skaters aside.
That was a great read by Dowd, but what was Zhitnik thinking there? Dowd was right in position. He tried to make a pass that was basically impossible.
Now they wrestle along the boards in the Hawk zone. It squirts loose to Keith. Duncan Keith moves quickly back to center, then turns back with it. Didn't want to dump it in. Good play, puck possession, nothing wrong with that here in extra time. And the Hawks still have control of it. Spacek from his own end. Out to center for Bell. Carries it over the line. Looked like an offside play. Play out. Here's Bell with a shot and a save by DiPietro. And then it deflects to the deep slot. A long shot from Vorobiev never got through. It deflects back to center ice.
Yanni's got 3 forwards out there and Spacek.
Bell to Verbata in over the line. Turns on the far side. To the late coming Spacek, whose shot is blocked. Good play, Hunter. Deflecting it out to center. Now here's Vorobiev. And again, the Hawks go 3 forwards and 1 D-man in this extra time. Into the slot, it goes to Arneson. Shot right on! Good save by DiPietro, holding on.
Boy, Tyler Arneson, he looks like he's found some confidence on the offensive side. He let that shot go, and DiPietro quickly had to make a save. And the way Arneson's releasing that puck right now, I mean, he's getting some great quality scoring opportunities, and he's letting them go real quick. He's not wasting any time, and he's finding some good range.
The draw to the left of DiPietro, which is picked up by Bork to the corner. Now Holmquist works toward the slot, but the Islanders converge. It's knocked away to Zhitnik. Zhitnik had his pocket picked from behind by Bork. Bork threw it in behind the Islander goal. DiPietro clears it up the far side. Bork able to keep it in at the line. Sends it again in deep. This time Martinick for the Islanders. He cleared it to Zhitnik. Head for Bates to the line. John Bates to the deep slot. Spins to try to buy a little time. Rolled it. Good pass to Sopel. Cuts right and shoots. Good save by Monroe with the right pad. Sopel was right to the doorstep. Denied by a terrific stop from Monroe. Now the Islanders look to move back in. Here's Blake to the near circle. Walks right in, shoots, and a save. Rebound. They score. Islanders win. Blake's shot was stopped, but the rebound came loose and was poked into a wide open goal by Oleg Kabasha. Islanders win it 2-1 in overtime.
Great individual effort by Bates. Worked one-on-one down low against Duncan Keith. Duncan Keith closed the gap quickly, and that shot squirted, it was Jason Blake rather, that shot squirted into Adam Monroe. Kind of handcuffed him and went up into the air, and Kavasha batted it